The year is 1984. Many new box office records are being set. The top 6 grossing movies of the year are Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, The Karate Kid, and finally, Police Academy. Now, I know most of those are big names, but have you ever heard of Police Academy? You've definitely heard of Footloose and The Terminator, but neither of those were as successful at the box office, yet they also came out in 1984. In fact, The Terminator was nowhere near as successful. Well, times have changed, movies have aged, and now Police Academy is forgotten. A movie that in fact has 6 sequels, none as good as the first. But hey, at least it's got sequels, right? That's a good thing, right? Police Academy is a forgotten gem. At least at the time it was a gem. Nowadays it would be cancelled. Look, humor in 1984 just wasn't the same as it is now in 2025, but turn your brain and consciousness off and I'm sure you'll be laughing almost every minute. In fact, I know you'll be. Why? Well, last night I rewatched it and time just flew. I was having so much fun. I realized that every single scene has a comedic element, whether it's stupidity, a joke, an idea, or a story element. Fun fact, back when I was a kid, I was recommended to watch Police Academy by my dad. He doesn't often recommend me movies, but he recommended me this. So I turned it on and immediately I fell in love. Never before had I had so much fun in a movie. Since then, I've watched this movie countless times and it never gets old. Still though, I've only seen a couple of the sequels and well, right now I have no plan to watch the others. Now going back on track, we still need to figure out why this movie has been forgotten. Remember, this movie sat next to Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, The Karate Kid, Footloose, and The Terminator. In fact, most of those movies I've mentioned still today have some sort of content releasing, whether it's movies, games, musicals, or animated series. And Police Academy has almost none of that. This movie heavily relies on its entertainment, its stupidity, its almost childish humor and cheap laughs, but that makes it comedy at its finest. The concept itself is actually really cool, inspired by real events that occurred in San Francisco. The mayor wanted to open the enrollment of the local police academy to include anyone, regardless of height, weight, whatever. They need more bodies. A sergeant of the academy told the producer Paul Maslansky that they had to accept anyone who enrolled, but would wash out the less ideal recruits. This got Maslansky thinking, what if they all graduated? Right now, I could have just been reading the synopsis of the movie and you would not be able to tell the difference. All of this is literally the plot of the movie. Anyway, Paul then pitched his idea to Alan Ladd Jr. and writers were hired to work on the script. It originally was very vulgar, with many more sex jokes and pervert behavior. Paul Maslansky found it to be too dirty and hired Hugh Wilson to direct, with the intention of finding a balance between the current script and a grounded, realistic comedy. The intention was also to make the movie slapstick style, which was the big thing at the time. Slapstick comedy is a style of humor involving exaggerated physical activity that exceeds the boundaries of normal physical comedy, and honestly, it makes the movie what it is. So now we think, they've just started making this more formulaic. Could that have affected the movie today? Well, no. We literally just had The Naked Gun release. It's done extremely well. Slapstick comedy and the formula behind it is not the problem. When you watch the movie, you realize that the story does fall short. It at times feels rushed and it doesn't have a full, consistent storyline. But you don't watch this movie for the story. The cast makes this movie. So let's talk about the characters. We have an overweight man who no longer wants to be pushed around by a gang of bullies. We have a tall, muscular man, a soft and gentle girl, a loudmouth who can imitate every sound. It's really cool, actually. We have a gun-loving war veteran, a lieutenant who wants to wash out as many recruits as possible, a womanizer, a rich young woman looking to contribute to the community, 2 suck-up to essentially dumb teachers' pets, and the main character, Carrie Mahoney, played by Steve Guttenberg, who is a privileged yet lovable smartass who is forced to go to the academy or else face prison time. Fun fact, Tom Hanks, Michael Keaton and Bruce Willis were also considered to play Mahoney, and honestly, with their names on the movie, maybe it would still be known today. At the time though, they weren't big names. I mean, neither was Guttenberg. All these characters are funny because of their stereotypes. In 2025, this movie would get cancelled. They literally were going to give a character a fat suit and throughout the movie series, she would lose weight and become slim. They have jokes for almost every stereotype you could possibly think of in this movie. I won't lie. It's absolutely hilarious. but it's not what people are typically allowed to be watching these days. And that's an unfortunate problem. That's a reason why it's not shown and advertised today. But Friends also has outdated comedy. People still watch that and still love it, and people are missing out on this hit comedy. I'll say it again, it's a gem, it's entertaining, you'll laugh, you won't cry, and once you finish the movie, you'll say to yourself, it's time to watch this again. That should be enough. Unfortunately, it's not. And unfortunately, you won't be given the opportunity to watch this as no one knows of this movie and the current world would not accept it. Police Academy was proof to me, still is proof, that cop shows on TV are worth a watch. Without a doubt, it influenced TV. Cop shows are massive these days, with some of the biggest hits being The Rookie, 911, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Police Academy actually influenced Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There are parallels and similarities of Jake Peralta and Carrie Mahoney, as well as Captain Holt and Officer Highwater. The way they look, the way they act, even the comedy and tone is similar, but none of this changes the fact that Police Academy has been lost in time. It doesn't belong in today's society. It's essentially outdated for our time, but honestly, it's just that comedy isn't the same as it used to be. And that's a problem because people are missing out on this movie. So I'll set you a challenge today. Watch it and tell me what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Also, quick shout out to all of you. Thank you for helping me reach and pass 50 subscribers. You have no idea how much it means to me to have your support. Next goal, 100. Thank you for watching and have a great day.